Good morning. Hope you're having a great week. It's Thursday, October 3rd, 10:08 a.m. Central Daylight Time, local time here in Wisconsin. I'm on the east side of Minneapolis, Minnesota, at a Flying J that's in Wisconsin. And I'm just about to go pick up a load. I just delivered a load. So I'm going to try to do a video updating you on what's going on with me. I tried to make one yesterday during my drive shift after the dock worker video, and there were just too many interruptions. I couldn't get it done. So we're gonna try again, and I'm gonna give you a heads up. I'm probably gonna upload this one even if it does have interruptions. I don't edit, and I'm probably gonna record all the way from the time I leave here until the time I arrive at the receiver, which is about 60 miles away. And here we go. I was just waiting for my clock. I'm gonna need to do a sleeper. Well, I thought I could make the delivery appointment with a sleeper split, but it's looking like that's not gonna be possible. Just a second, I don't know what this guy's doing. He's just backing out into the roadway. Turn right onto 70th Avenue. Or is he parking in that parking spot? Just a second. I'm just really trying to keep an eye on this person because I think they're parking in that parking spot. It's not a good idea to nose into parking spots because all of your steering is in the front. So whenever you nose in, you have very little control over what direction you can go when you're pulling out. Just a second here. There's another truck. You can't really have trucks coming in and going out at the same time. All right, here we go. Take the next right onto 70th Avenue, then turn right onto Wisconsin 65 South. I was about a foot away from the curb swinging it that wide. Take the second right onto Wisconsin 65 South. Now, I'm not saying never nose into a parking spot. I've done it sometimes, but I only do it whenever it's a straight back out. Whenever it's just wide open parking lot behind you. And it is amazing to nose in. Nosing in is so awesome. It is so quiet. And because of the trailers block noise, they block lights, they block all kinds of stuff. So nosing in is awesome, but it's just dangerous to back out. It's not just that you have very little maneuverability. It's also that you can't see anything. You're completely blind. When you're backing out. All right, let's see what we got going on here. I thought I was going to have to come to a damn stop. This truck moved over for me at the last second. Anyway, so I had that. Oh man, we got a lot to catch up on. And it's going to be hard for me to concentrate on everything while I'm driving across Minneapolis I usually don't do videos while I'm driving through major metropolitan areas because there's so much stuff going on. It's hard for me to remember what I've said or what I was talking about. Like I'll be in the middle of saying something and then somebody will cut me off and I'll forget what I was talking about. But we'll give it a try. So the last video I uploaded where I was talking about what's going on with me is I was at a shop in Texas getting a tire fixed on a load from Dallas to Portland. I was at the house for a few months and then I drove from Oklahoma City where I live down to Dallas, picked a load up, and the trailer that I picked up had a bad tire, so I got the tire fixed in Memphis, Texas, off Highway 287. I delivered it in Portland on September 12th. I picked it up on the 7th. I delivered it on the 12th. After I delivered it, I went down to a Pilot Flying J on the south side of Portland and hung out there looking for a load. I did not want to set. I wanted a load. I wanted to keep rolling. I wanted to knock out a bunch of miles. I wanted to make a bunch of money. Sometimes I get in the mood to hang out at the truck stop. This was not the case, but I could not find a load. The loads were absolutely horrendous. I don't think I've ever been looking for a load in the Seattle, Portland area, and there's not even decent loads being posted. I was willing to take a load that would be break even for most trucks. A load where I would only make like $1.75 a mile gross to the truck, which would be a load paying about $2.50 a mile because I make about 70%. So if the customer's paying $2.50 a mile, I would make about $1.75 a mile. I was willing to haul one of those cheap ass loads just to keep rolling. And I couldn't even find one of those on the board. The only loads that were paying more than $2.50 a mile had problems. Like they weren't really $2.50 a mile loads. They had major issues. They were specialized loads. Like one of them that they kept posting over and over again for like $2.80 a mile were loads that had like 32 extra stops on them. And another one that they kept posting over and over was a load that required 18 ratchet straps, or no, 32 ratchet straps and 18 blankets. Those are highly specialized loads. You would have to have like your own trailer with belly storage to store that much securement and dunnage material. Or you just have to pile it into your sleeper, and I don't know where you'd sleep. Maybe you'd move it all the way to the front of your cab whenever it was time to sleep, and then whenever you wake up, you pile it all back in the sleeper. You just have to move it back and forth around in your truck to be able to move around. That would be a pain in the ass. So I was on Monday, September the 30th, I was planning to drive to Jerome, Twin Falls, Idaho area, and I was going to look for a load there. Why there? Well, it's not a good freight market, but you have that freight market, the Jerome Twin Falls, then you have Boise, then you have Pocatello, and you have Salt Lake, all within a reasonable distance. So I could go to that centralized spot and look for a load in all those areas. That's what I was about to do whenever I got the load alert for the load that I just took from Portland to Minneapolis. And that load that I just hauled was a phenomenal load. It was paying over $4 a mile on the full rate. I made like 283, 284 a mile. So it's like $4.15 a mile. It was about 1,700 miles, paid $6,800. What I made was about $4,700, about 283, 284 a mile. And I was basically running empty. It was 6 pallets that weighed 6,600 pounds. Just an absolutely phenomenal load. That would have been an amazing load back when we were at an all-time high freight market. a second here. Sorry, I'm watching traffic around me. Um, so yeah, absolutely phenomenal load, but there was a bunch of drama with it. I had to get the load rescheduled. The initial appointment schedule was impossible for a solo driver, much like this one. I think these are team loads. This is the same agency that I'm hauling. This is the JQL agency that has a Google account, and most of the loads I've been hauling for the last couple of years have been for this agent. And I don't think I've ever had to reschedule a load with them until these last two loads I've hauled for them. But these last two loads are team loads. The appointment schedule is for a team. But I was able to get the, why in the hell are we going so slow? What is the speed limit through here? Walmart is doing 60 miles an hour, and Google says the speed limit is 70. As soon as I see a speed limit sign, we'll make a decision on whether or not to pass Walmart. I don't want to be out here rolling 70 if the speed limit's 60 and Google's wrong. Speed limit is 70. I see a sign right there. But we have a way station coming up in 2 miles, so should I try passing Walmart right before a way station? You typically have to be in the right lane for way stations. So it looks like we're just going to chill behind this Walmart driver that's driving 10 miles an hour under the speed limit for what reason, I don't know. And we got four-wheelers passing in the exit lane. Let's see if they actually exit. We're about to cross back over into Minnesota on the other side of this bridge. That's where the way station is at. And I got the pull in unless closed. And I see the way station sign flashing, which typically pull in when flashing. So it looks like we're going to be pulling into the way station.
Welcome to Minnesota.
Why in the hell is Walmart going so slow? They'll probably get the bypass. So we're not going to have to worry about them anymore. We'll just go in and deal with the way station. So yeah, I had a bunch of drama with the load where I had to get it rescheduled because it was an impossible appointment schedule. And then there was an issue with the paperwork. It had the wrong address on it. We were able to get all that resolved eventually. Trucks must enter way station when flashing. And it be flashing. And I delivered the load. It was scheduled to deliver 8 a.m. this morning. I got there at 6:15. Did not expect for them to even be open yet. And they got me unloaded. I was gone by 6:35. And then I drove over here to this truck stop. Oh, Walmart. Walmart did not get the bypass. Damn it. Just a second here. There's a moron coming up way too fast behind me. Some idiot was out there passing a whole line of trucks and then cut them off to take the exit for the way station, and then flew up on me at a high rate of speed. Just dumbasses out here. I'm empty. Give me left lane. Yay, we got the left lane. So that was a little weigh in motion scale, and it basically checks to see how heavy you are. And if you're close, if you're heavy, then it'll take you across their main scale to get a more accurate weight. If you're really light, then they'll typically bypass you around the scale. Also, if the scale starts getting backed up, then they'll start bypassing people. So it looks like a lot of people behind me are getting bypassed. The jackass that came flying in way too fast. Take the ramp to I-94 west, then merge onto I-94 west. It looks like he got pulled across the scale, so he just passed all those people, and now he's going to have to sit and wait to go across the scale. Being aggressive for no reason. All right, I got 8 miles to my exit. I don't like passing people when I'm close to an exit, but Walmart is going 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. And this van is speed matching them. So we're doing 70 right now, which is the speed limit. It's a Martin truck pulling Walmart. And they sped up to 65. And the van sped up as well. This is what happens when you try to pass people. People are so incredibly aggressive. They'll try to keep you from passing them. All right, we made it around the slow-ass Walmart. Now we got 5.6 miles to the exit where we're going to head to the north side of Seattle, Minneapolis. And we still got things rolling on this load where I sent the agent an email asking them to reschedule the appointment. So we'll see what they say on that. I'm going to be really pissed off if they come back and they're like, yeah, it has to deliver at 9 a.m. So we're going to have to take this load off of you and find a team. I'm going to get mad after driving all the way there because I don't check my phone while I'm driving. I'm not going to check my email or message or anything while I'm driving. And I don't have enough time to just sit there and wait for them to figure out if they can reschedule it. That can take an hour or two. So yeah, delivered the load this morning, drove over to that Flying J, reserved a shower, and while I was walking to the building to get my shower, there's a lane closure ahead. I got a load alert for that load. Another amazing load by the JQL agency, paying over $4 a mile. And I immediately called them up. I was like, hey, I just delivered a load for you, and I'm calling to book another one. So got this one booked, and then took the shower, and then came back out, dealt with some paperwork with the load. And then sorry, I'm going through a construction area right now. Just trying to pay close attention to the road and the traffic. And I've got an exit in 2.5 miles. It's not really an exit as so much as it's like getting onto a different interstate. I'm getting onto Interstate 694. So it's probably like a full speed merge.
In 2 miles, use the right lane to take exit 249 toward I-694 North.
So yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. This load is phenomenal. This worked out perfect because I was wanting to get back to the house. I need to get back to the house to take care of something personal before the end of October. And I wasn't sure that I had enough time to go all the way back out to the Pacific Northwest to Seattle or Portland and make it back to the house by the end of October. So I was planning on trying to get to the house within the next couple of weeks. And this load is basically going straight to the house, paying premium money. So this worked out really, really well. I'm going to be able to deliver this load. And if we're able to maintain the appointment schedule and I get to deliver it tomorrow on Friday, then I'll be home for the weekend. If not, yeah, just jump across like 3 lanes. Is that person even taking this exit, or are they just jumping across 3 lanes to pass?
Use the right lane to take exit 249, then slide right onto the ramp to I-694 North.
They're staying in this lane, so it looks like they're exiting. People are so incredibly aggressive. It's why this is such a dangerous profession. It's because of how bad drivers
Slide
are.
right onto the ramp to I-694 North. Continue on I-694 North for 10 miles.
I did not see a recommended speed on this thing, but we're doing 40 miles an hour, and I don't feel like I should be going faster than that. Maybe there was a recommended speed and I just didn't notice it. Just a second here. I'm trying to get out of this. This lane goes exit only. Yeah, this load is paying like absolutely amazing money. The last load was paying amazing money. These loads are so above market average, it's crazy. All right, let's get out and about. Oh damn, speed limit is 60. I'm doing 65. Now I feel like an asshole out here in the left lane. Why is today the day that everybody's doing the speed limit? I want to get back over in that right lane. I'm scared right now. I don't want to block traffic. So I want to get back over in on that right lane and get back down to the speed limit. I don't like being out in the left lane speeding. I'm not really blocking traffic either. There's closest car behind me just now caught up with me. It's about 100 feet behind me. All right, so we've only got 7 miles, and then we're going to get on to the 35 east north. For people who don't drive on interstates very often, um, or you don't drive around the country much, you might not know what in the hell a 35 east north. What? In some of these cities, they'll split the interstate in two, and like the Dallas Fort Worth area splits I-35, and Minneapolis splits I-35. You have a I-35 east and west. They split while they're going through town, and then when they get to the other side of town, they rejoin and just become 35. I don't like being this close, but that the truck in front of me slowed way down because some jackass four-wheeler, instead of merging in behind the truck, the four-wheeler raced to get in front of the truck, and the truck had to slam on their brakes to let the four-wheeler in. Aggressive drivers all day, every day. That's what we deal with, aggressive drivers. All right, I'm trying to create some space here, but every time I slow down, this guy slows down with me. We're down to like 58 miles an hour right now, and I can't pass him. I'm gonna go ahead and pass him. Holy shit. Four-wheeler just cut me off, and I was way too close to the back of that truck, and that four-wheeler just cut me off. Wow. Good thing I was already starting the pass on this guy. That was extremely dangerous. I was sitting there like checking my mirror to look for an opening to pass, and then that guy just cuts me off and slams on his brakes for the exit. Aggressive drivers all day, every day. That's what we deal with. So 3.8 miles until we get onto the 35. I have not even fully trip planned this load. I've been in such a rush. I don't like doing this. This is the reason I usually hang out at the truck stop for a couple of days. I don't like booking loads that I have to rush to pick up and rush to deliver. I don't like being in a rush. I like going through my normal routine, trip planning everything, and having plenty of time and just casually getting there. But these loads are paying so well, and we're dealing with all of the drama in the world right now. that, like, I think I mentioned it in my dock worker video. The only advice I can give right now, like the best advice I can give is, you know, take advantage of any opportunity that you get. We're going to be experiencing a lot of uncertainty and a lot of volatility, and take advantage of what you can. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the port worker video, because there are a ton of things about that.
2 miles, take exit 47 for I-35E north toward Duluth.
Just a second here. There's a really busy on ramp. There are a ton of things that I did not talk about in that video, because I would be making videos for I could talk for weeks about that port stoppage. I wish they would have, like, on interstates. I wish they would have kept them outside of town, and you just had like 2 or 3 exits to go to a town, kind of like Twin Falls, Little Rock, Arkansas, Twin Falls, Jerome. Well, not Jerome, but Twin Falls, Idaho. You don't actually drive through the city on the interstate. You take an exit, and that takes you to the city. Little Rock, Arkansas is the same way. You don't drive through the middle on I-40. There is a 30, Interstate 30, I think, goes through Little Rock, but I-40 goes past it. You don't actually go through town. I wish that's the way interstates were through all cities. Instead of taking it right through the middle of the damn town and having on and off ramps every 5 feet, that's what causes these massive traffic jams.
In half a mile,
Um,
take exit 47 for I-35E north.
there's some news article I read when a bunch of dumbasses were advocating to block trucks from driving through Denver during the daytime because they were causing traffic jams. Somebody did a news article, and in that they actually supplied some fucking data, not information based off of your feelings. You think that the semi trucks are causing all the traffic.
Continue for
They
18
they
miles.
provided some actual data, and one of their data points was that almost all of the interstate traffic, something ridiculous, like 90 or 95% of the interstate traffic, are vehicles that are traveling less than 5 miles. And that's because these interstates are main street through cities. Second here, I got 2 cars in the left lane. I'm merging into the right lane. Just making sure one of those cars didn't merge into the lane while I was merging into it. Um, so yeah, I couldn't pass up on these loads, even though they're on tighter schedules than what I'd really want to deal with. They're just, these loads are just so perfect. I can't pass up on them. And I'm not really familiar with the Minneapolis market. I've never been in this area looking for a load. I've been in Fargo looking for a load. I know it's a shit market, but I've never really been in Minneapolis looking for a load. And so far, the load alerts I'm getting are not that amazing. But we're in a really bad freight market, and a whole bunch of stuff is happening right now. So I don't know if what we're getting right now is normal for Minneapolis. But yeah, anyway, what I am not sure if I mentioned, I don't think I talked about it in the dock worker video, but there's a ton of things I didn't talk about in that video. Ports. there are going to be cascade failures. There's going to be a ripple effect across a lot of things with these ports being shut down. And one of the things is, think about this. All of those trucks that were headed into Houston to deliver loads, they can't deliver their loads to the port anymore. So now all of those trucks that run in and out of the port are parked. And a lot of them have loads on them. Where are they parked? I don't know. Maybe some of them are at their terminals, but a lot of them are probably parked at the truck stop. What about all of those trucks that took loads into Houston? Well, a lot of them are not going to be able to offload, even if they're not delivering to the port. Let's say you're delivering to a warehouse in Houston. Well, that warehouse might be taking stuff out of a 53-foot van, loading it into a container, and then a port worker takes that and drives it into the port. Well, they can't offload the stuff off their dock onto a container to get it to the port, so their dock gets full. So their dock is full, and they can't offload you. So trucks going into Houston, a lot of them are not going to be able to offload, and they're going to be looking for a place to park. Yeah, there's no fucking reason that I'm moving lanes, four-wheeler. I put my signal on to move lanes, and a four-wheeler put their signal on to get over in the lane I just left. I moved lanes, and they jumped over there to pass me on the right. Then they realized why I moved lanes and moved back over behind me. So I don't know for a fact that this is the case, but I expect that Houston is a fucking madhouse. I bet you cannot find any truck parking in the Houston area. I bet there are a ton of trucks sitting at the truck stops trying to get loaded or trying to get unloaded. And their support personnel are scrambling trying to figure shit out because there's going to be a huge reduction in the number of loads leaving areas like Houston. So it's going to be hard to find a load out of Houston. That's my expectation of what port cities like Houston are like right now. And I am probably going to be avoiding port cities like that. What I'm thinking a really good route to run right now would be like Seattle, Portland to Milwaukee, Chicago, back and forth to those two, roughly those areas. I know I was just in Seattle, Portland, and the market sucked, but there's going to be a lot of freight diverting over there. So it should get better. It's probably not going to get great, but it should get better. And I'm getting tons of load alerts. I do have two alerts set up. I've got just an alert looking for good loads coming out of Minneapolis, and then I've got an alert looking for anything going toward my house at a lower rate, uh, just to get to the house. I need to turn those alerts off. It's just I'm getting a load alert uh, every 30 seconds or so. So yeah, I personally am uh, most likely going to be avoiding port cities like Houston. Like, I don't even know if I really want to go down and deal with Dallas because Dallas isn't too terribly far from Houston. And where do you think all of those people in the Houston area are going to be redirected? Where are they going to be sent to find a load? Dallas. So Dallas already has a ton of trucks in that area looking for loads. And then you're going to dump all the Houston trucks into that area looking for loads. And a lot of those loads coming out of the Dallas area are port loads. Dallas has some massive rail yards, and uh, those, those railroad containers, a lot of them originate from the port, and they go to the rail yard in Dallas and offload there. So a lot of the Dallas loads are also port loads. So the West Coast ports are open, and the Great Lake ports are open. You know, Green Bay, Chicago, Milwaukee, Cleveland. So that's the reason I say the best place to be right now is probably running I-90 back and forth between the Great Lakes area and the Pacific Northwest. Or if you want to deal with California, you know, the entire West Coast to the Great Lakes area would probably be a decent place to run. I'm not going to deal with California's bullshit right now. If they become a premium market again, then yeah, I'll see about driving in California again. But for now, California is excluded from all of my load alerts. I'm not even legal to drive through California. So I won't even take loads that require me to drive through California. But yeah, things are working out pretty good. Let's go over like how much total money I made since I left the house. It looks like I'm going to make it back to the house within a month. It's going to be almost exactly a month for me to get back home. I left the house on September 7th, and I should be getting back home. I don't know if maybe, maybe October 4th, I might be home, or October 5th. I might have to wait until Monday to deliver, though. So it might be almost exactly a month. So how much? I only did 3 loads. So the first load I made right at about $5,000 gross to the truck, but almost all of that went to paying expenses. I owed Landstar about $4,000 because I'd sat at the house for like 4 months, and my total expenses for the truck, my fixed costs, are about $1,000 a month. That's my, insurance, permits, all that stuff. It's not. No, it's not quite $1,000 a month. That's too much. My insurance is like $5,000 or $6,000 a year. Somewhere around, I don't know, maybe $600 a month. We'll go with $600 a month, are what my fixed costs are. It's like my ELD subscription and a few other things. I can't remember all of it off the top of my head. I don't remember the exact amount per month, but I accumulated approximately $4,000 worth of debt with Landstar while I was sitting at the house for 3 to 4 months. I think it might have been over 4 months. So almost that entire check for the first load went to paying Landstar. I only had like $1,000 deposited in my account. Load 2, about $4,700. And now this load is a little over 2,000, probably $2,100, $2,200. So we'll just go with 2 grand. So 4,700, 2 grand, that's 6,700 plus 5 grand. What is that? 12,005. Um, sorry. I started looking at the cars behind me. I got some cars passing me. So what was it? It was 5 and 67. So that's $11,700. Approximately $11,700 gross to the truck. My fuel costs were not very high. These were really high paying loads. So made almost $12,000 in the month, and I spent maybe 2 grand on fuel. So it was about $10,000 after just fuel cost. I do have additional expenses like insurance and stuff like that, but my expenses are really, really low. Most trucks have really high expenses. The way most trucks run is that they'll make like $5,000 a week gross to the truck. You know, they'll be making $20,000 a month gross.
In 2 miles, take exit 132.
But
USA
in order to
two
do
west
that,
lanes.
they're running like 2,500 miles a week. And they have a high truck payment, high fuel costs because they're running so many miles. I did $12,000 on, just a second, I got an exit in a mile and a half. How many miles? So it's 2,100 plus 1,700, so that's 3,800 plus 700, 4,500 miles approximately that I made 12 grand on gross to the truck. I don't know. That's just like shooting off the top of my head. 1.2 miles. Okay, this lane's going exit only. What is it going exit only into? Is it where I need to go? Highway 8. Exit 132. Yep. All right, so we're going exit only in this lane, and that's where we want to go. 3/4 of a mile. That mileage and that amount doesn't sound quite right because I've been running at a really high rate per mile. It should be like
In a half mile, take exit 132 for USA toward Taylor's Falls.
close to $3 a mile. Well, 250 to somewhere two. If I had to guess, I would say that my average has been 260 a mile that I've been running at gross to the truck. So would that be right?
Take exit
4,500.
132
That'd be
and continue on to
9,000
USA East.
plus half of 4,500. Yeah, that sounds about right. Just somewhere around 4,500 total miles and about $12,000 gross to the truck. I would suspect most trucks out here are running 60, 70 cents a mile less than me, and their expenses are a lot higher than mine.
Continue on USA East for 8 miles.
So that's the reason most truck drivers are out here running their ass off, and they don't have a lot to show for it. These trucks make a lot of money, but they also cost a lot of money. And that's the trick to this business, is controlling your costs. If you get out here and just don't control your costs, then you could be making $250,000 a year and thinking you're rich, but after all your expenses, what you're actually making for yourself could be like $30,000 a year. All right, we got 7 miles um, left to the shipper. We're going to be driving through towns here on this highway. Just a second here. Nobody knows what they're doing. Like, everybody's just slowing down, trying to figure out where they're going to go. Now, I'm hoping to only be at the house for like a week, just long enough to restock the truck and then get back out. But we'll just have to see what's going on with the freight market, with our world war, and all the rest of the craziness going on in the world. Five and a half miles. I think this is the first time I've ever done a video from leaving a place to arriving at a place. I've done arrival videos, I've done leaving videos, but I don't think I've ever done a video where I did both in the same video. So whenever you arrive at a place, you're just trying to figure out, okay, where's the truck entrance? Where's the shipping and receiving office? Where am I supposed to park at? Where you're trying to, as you're pulling up to a place, you're trying to figure all this stuff out. And most of these places, they deal with trucks all day, every day. And they get this attitude of, oh, they always do this, they always do that. They don't go park where they're supposed to. You know, they park in the middle of the road. They do this, they do that. So a lot of these places have disgruntled employees that if you don't do everything you're supposed to do on their property, they'll get irritated. And the thing is that every single one of these shippers and receivers are different. And most of us rarely ever go to the same shipper or receiver more than once. So, like, I'm not going to learn, your policy and procedure manual for the 2 hours that I'm at your site. And a lot of these places have a long list of rules, policies and procedures and stuff like that. And some of these places are really rude about it. Two of the worst places to go are grocery warehouses and paper mills. Uh, Paper mills that I've been to have signs out. Some of them, not all of them. Not all of them are jackasses, but some of the paper mills I've been to have signs up that say that if you break any of the rules, that they will ban you from the property for like a day. They'll make you go set out. They'll basically make you sit in the corner for a day And if you break a rule a second time, they'll ban you for like 3 days. If you break a rule for a third time, they'll permanently ban you. And I've seen trucks like parked out in front of the paper plant in like timeout because they didn't follow one of the rules. Do you have any idea how just messed up that is? Treating the drivers like they're children or something. If we do something so ridiculously stupid that you need to do something about it, then kick us off your property. You don't want us hauling your load if we're doing stupid shit like that. You don't want us on your property if we're doing something that dumb. But, you know, not following some petty little rule that they probably weren't even aware of, just inform them of what they're supposed to do. Let them correct it. You don't need to put them in timeout at the front gate. It's crazy. Some of these shippers and receivers are just, oh my God. Luckily, I don't really deal with much of that with Landstar. Whenever you're hauling really like good freight, high paying stuff, you typically don't deal with that bullshit. It's every time I haul cheap loads or I work for shitty companies that haul cheap freight, that's when you deal with that kind of drama all the time. It's the customers that pay next to nothing for loads are the ones that have those ridiculous rules, and they treat you like shit because, and I've talked about this before, that's one of the reasons I don't haul cheap freight. I would rather deadhead than haul cheap freight. If you haul a load for a company that has cheap freight, you're operating under that business model. That load is not the only thing they're cheap on. That's how they run their business. So the warehouse that they lease is cheap. It's the cheapest they could find. So that means it's probably not big enough. It's probably going to be like overrun. They're going to be using the parking lot for storage. It might not be adequate for this size of a vehicle. They're going to be over capacity on everything. They're going to understaff. They're going to hire people at such low wages that they're not going to be able to get good employees. So the security and the dock workers and everybody that you have to deal with.
Turn left onto Carmel Avenue.
All right, Deer Garden. This is not where I want. I need Cardinal. I need the next left. I do not want to miss this turn.
Turn left onto Carmel Avenue.
So yeah, typically the broker you work with is going to be a jackass. The security, the people at the dock, like
Continue on Carmel Avenue for half a mile.
everything's going to suck. Just not worth the drama. God, is this the right way to get to this place? I think it's the only way to get to this place. This road doesn't really seem appropriate for trucks. There's no shoulder. Just a second here. Just cruising through.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto Liberty
I'm
Lane.
having to be very, very mindful of traffic because this road's really narrow. And I might have to go into the other lane to make around some of these turns. All right, so this is my road, Liberty Lane.
Take the next right onto Liberty Lane, then turn left.
Holy crap, that looks narrow. All right, and that's a blind hill. Let's swing real quick. Hopefully no oncoming traffic comes. And I was about 6 inches away from the curb, swinging it that wide. Oh, shit. Shit. I remember now. You're going to get to see a fuck up. You're going to get to see how I fix a fuck up.
Then your destination will be on the right.
The truck entrance is further down. I remember now. I remember the Google Maps. We're good. They have a back road here. I was going to just pull in here and then back up and then go to the truck entrance, but no, we're good. We're perfect. We're set up. This worked out better. So maybe you didn't get to see a fuck up.
Your destination is on the right.
A second here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'll just pause the video while I go and check in. Be right back. All right, they told me I can back into any door I want. So I just opened up my doors. And now we're going to go over here and see what the situation on the doors are.
Head east toward Liberty Lane.
I think I'm going to go for door 2. We'll just see what I get lined up for. We'll see how the cookie crumbles. Looks like we're gonna get door 2. I don't know. It's really hard to tell if I'm lined up for it. There's no lines. Oh well, yeah, I'm way off, and there's no way to maneuver here. Damn it! I'm gonna have to completely redo this setup. We're gonna go for door 3. It's gonna be easier to go for door 3 than door 2. Yeah, this is impossible if there was another truck here. It's one of these places where you basically, there's almost no room to maneuver. I'm going to back all the way to the dock pretty much and try to get straightened out here. Yeah, this place is tight. This is not designed for 53s. I might have to completely redo this. I don't have enough room. Maybe if I go all the way to the side of the building. I need to move over about 5 or 6 feet. This second here, there's a just a second, I'll be right back. I didn't realize this dock was this tight, or I would have done a better setup. I was just kind of winging it on the setup. because it looked wide open. All right. We bumped the dock. Now let's try to see if we can get enough room to shift over. Oh my goodness. All right, we're kind of lined up. We're really close now, but I still need to fix it a little bit. We're gonna go really close to bumping. We didn't quite bump it that time. Now I just need to move over like a maybe 6-8 inches, a foot or so. All right, we got it. Yeah, this place is ridiculous. When they asked me what type of vehicle I had, I was like, it's just a normal 53-foot van. And he's like, I don't know what that is. I've never heard that before. And I think this is the reason why. I don't think this place gets 53-foot vans very often. All right, let me pause this. I'm going to go in there and let them know what door I'm in. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. So it's been like 15 minutes, I think, since I paused it. We're docked. We're getting loaded right now. Um, Man, this is picturesque. This is beautiful. I don't know how much of you can see in the camera, but there's a beautiful little lake or river. I don't know what it is. I'm guessing it's a lake. There's like a beautiful cabin house right there. And this is picturesque. But yeah, these people here are super, super nice, real chill. They're not making me jump through any stupid hoops. Like whenever I booked the load, they made me send a copy of my driver's license. I had to take pictures of my driver's license and send it to the broker because they said that I was picking up at a data center and they had to have my license. And that doesn't appear to be the case. So, yeah, they're getting me loaded right now. It's 14 pallets. It's really light. Just a second here. Let me turn my damn load alerts off. Because I am still just getting spammed with load alerts. So this appears to be a fairly good freight market because I'm getting just spammed with load alerts.
Head east toward Liberty Lane.
So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up the video. I have to wait and get loaded. After I get loaded, double check, make sure the paperwork's correct, get the trailer sealed, get it locked up. I just finished doing my trip plan and picking out a place to stop at the end of this drive shift. So I need to wrap up this video so that I can figure out my ETA because I have to send an email to the broker with my ETA. They emailed me back and they said that it's perfectly fine for me to not get there at 9 a.m. They said that I can get there anytime tomorrow. I don't know how long they're open tomorrow, but they said that the receiver just wants to know what my ETA is. I don't have like a hard set appointment, but they do want to know when I'm going to get there. So I have to keep them updated as to what my ETA is. And I don't know what the hours of operation of that place is. So I'm going to try real hard to get there before 5 p.m. because I think they might close at 5 p.m. and I think they might be closed all weekend. If I don't get there before 5 p.m., I may not be able to deliver till Monday. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video, get it uploaded, and because like I shouldn't even be making this video. I've got so much crap I have to do. I'm in such a rush. So I don't know if I'll upload another video on the way there. Maybe once things settle down, but I've got to drive through Minneapolis right after I leave here, and drama, drama, drama. um, and then hopefully I can find a parking spot whenever I stop. I'm going to be looking for a parking spot at probably 9 or 10 p.m. tonight, maybe 8 p.m. I don't know. It depends on how long it takes them to get me loaded. And that's not a terrible time to be looking for a spot, but it's not a great time either. If I can get there by 8 p.m., looking for a parking spot by 8 p.m. If you're out in the middle of nowhere looking for a parking spot at 8 p.m., you should be okay. But if you're in a major metropolitan area looking for a parking spot at 8 p.m., you're you're gonna usually have difficulty finding a spot. So anyway, good luck to you. Hope you have a great weekend if I don't talk to you before then. So bye.